Hear the fifth word. I thirst. I'm thirsty. You know, there's a kind of timelessness when hanging on a cross, I've heard. It isn't a quiet, peaceful death. It isn't over in an instant, in one glorious moment of martyrdom. A cross is just as much an instrument of torture as it is a gallows upon which to die. And as the day wears on, seconds stretch into minutes, and they stretch into hours until there comes a point when time can no longer be measured. There's a gradual weakening of the body, and its ever more insistent demands for that substance which is so vital to life and so basic and foundational for all living things. Water. Water. Give me water. Water to moisten my parched mouth. Water to free my swollen tongue. Water to open a rasping throat that cannot gasp air anymore. Water to keep hope alive and to keep life alive just a few more moments longer. Oh God, you are my God. I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. Psalm 63. The psalmist says that there's a thirst for water in this life, and that thirst for water is a thirst for life, and it's also a thirst for God. And it is God who promises to all of us streams in the desert, mighty rivers in a dry land, and living water to wash away every tear. Here at the end, those promises sound so far away. And yet, in reality, they are closer than they ever have been. As life ebbs away, Jesus still thirsts for life. He says, I thirst. Hear the sixth word. It is finished. It is finished. What a cry of deliverance. Finally, after seemingly endless pain and suffering, it's over at last. The suffering is ended, the ordeal is finished, and nothing remains but the blessed peace. But Jesus' cry is more than that. It's more than just welcoming the end of pain. It's more than relief, the relief that death brings. He doesn't just simply say, it is over. Jesus says, it is fulfilled. It is achieved. It is accomplished. Jesus is not a sigh of relief. It is a cry of success and triumph, that the race has been run and that he has endured to the end, and that the strife is over and the battle is won. Here is the sound of victory in the tents of the righteous. The right hand of the Lord has triumphed. The work I came to do is complete, he cries. There is nothing more to add. It is finished. Hear the seventh word. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. And having said this, he breathed his last. Jesus gathers his strength for one final cry. Why would he muster so much of his last pitiable energy to cry out with a loud voice at this point? Wouldn't have God have heard his cry and his thoughts in his mind? Or a whisper? Unless God was not the only one that he wanted to hear. Perhaps his voice was loud, so that we too might hear the final dedication of his Spirit. Jesus entrusts his Spirit, his life, and all that gives it meaning to God in faith. Jesus is crying out to proclaim his faith in God, and the darkness cannot overcome it. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit.